Sangharakshita, the founder of this particular Buddhist movement, he's defined metta as essentially the vigorous expression of an imaginative identification with others. So I'll just say that again. Metta is essentially the vigorous expression of an imaginative identification with others. Vigorous. So vigorous expression to me suggests energy there. You know, it's not something that's, I don't know, a little, I like the colour pink, but, you know, sort of pastel pink, fluffy. Vigorous to me suggests, you know, it's got energy behind it. Expression is something we say, it's something we do, it's something that affects how we act in the world. And it's an imaginative identification. So what that definition is doing is we need to call on the faculty of our imagination. Yeah? It's a creative act, the Metta Bhavana, and using the imagination in a skillful way will really help. Wrote down what they remembered the Buddha taught them. And the Karaniya Metta is a teaching that's respected all over the Buddhist world. I'll just give you a short verse of it to give you a flavour of it. You think of every living thing without exception. So we're not just talking about people here. Every living thing without exception. The weak and the strong, the smallest to the largest. Whether you see them or not, living nearby or far away, beings living now or yet to arise, beings that are not even here. May all beings become happy in their heart of hearts. May no one deceive or look down on anyone, anywhere, for any reason, whether through feeling angry or through reacting to someone else. May no one want another to suffer. We were relating to one another as one family, I guess, one family, that we're all in this together. So the background to the Metta Bhavana is, it's said that a group of the Buddha's disciples, I'm not sure at what stage this was. This was at a time when there wouldn't have been monasteries, there wouldn't have been, if you like, established monasteries and nunneries. It was more at this time when the Buddha was teaching that the Buddha would wander from place to place. People would gather in the parks where he was living for that time, or he might be teaching on his way, and sort of disciples would gather, followers would gather. Anyway, the story goes there was a bunch of his followers who said that they were wanting to meditate in the forest of northern India at that time, and you can imagine it. I mean, I wouldn't go and meditate at night in my local woods in Crystal Palace, but imagine a jungle in India, you know, presumably snakes. There probably was a lot more wildlife then because we hadn't killed it off. You know, there would have been big cats, I imagine. There would have been bandits and robbers. You know, it's not like you had your local constabulary walking around either. Anything could happen at that time of night. And the disciples of the Buddha were saying, look, we want to be able to meditate, but we can't. Our minds are just full of fear. So much fear. There's no way we can settle or be able to meditate, reach samadhi in the way that you've taught. It's impossible, actually. And the teaching the Buddha gave was the Metta Bhavana. It's said to be the antidote to fear. And the Buddha is seeing from a completely different mind's eye, if you like. He's seeing from a state of enlightenment. And he's kind of like trying to say, if you saw the world how I saw it, you wouldn't see this. You'd see things more in terms of we're all in connection. There isn't actually these distinctions, these threats, these dangers in quite the way that you think it is.
Right, yeah.
So the practice is traditionally in 5 stages. I'm going to stop talking in a minute and you're going to get to do something. We're going to take it in just 3 stages today, and then we'll build it up to 5 next week. So it's a fantastic practice. It's so simple. So what we do as human beings is we're in relationship to people all the time. Some people we like, some people we don't like, and some people we're just not interested in. We're just, a bit sort of, don't know what I think about them, got no idea. And what the practice does is it takes this natural response that we all have to people, and it's kind of setting up an experiment, it's kind of setting up a challenge. It's kind of like saying, okay, for just this period of meditation, let's see, I think of it almost like an elastic band, let's just see if we can widen the imagination and the heart. Yeah, so this is your usual response. Can we just see if there's a slightly more generous response, a different response? So, and in a way, we can't possibly think that we can solve world problems of nation states and really complex world situations if we're not prepared first to sit with our own animosity. It's kind of like the Buddha is saying, you're only going to have a chance to act skillfully in the world in a way that will really make a difference if it comes from your direct experience. So if you're worried about the state of the world and you want to be effective and potent, use your experience to learn, and then any activism, any action, behaviour that comes from a loving place, that will have this, that will be in keeping with this unalterable law. Yeah, that's what the Buddha sort of said. You cannot transform hate with more hate. It's just a law of the universe. It will not work. It's only love. So we take that and we say, okay, let's see if this is true in our own being. That's kind of what the Metta Bhavana is aimed at doing, for you to test it out for yourself. Does the Metta Bhavana practice. So starting in the first stage with well-wishing for ourselves. So for the next few minutes, wishing ourselves well. Maybe we use phrases. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be free from suffering. These are traditional phrases. Or it may be we come up with a phrase of our own. May I feel at ease. May I reach my potential. So what we're doing is finding the particular key that unlocks our individual heart. A heart different to everyone, but also a heart that's similar to. Maybe it's a memory that reminds us of the time when we were happy. You can just enjoy sensations of breathing, sensations of life, just being right here now. You can have a sense of well-wishing. Remember, you've got your anchor to come back to if the mind wanders off. You can come back to sound or the body or the breath. And then in your own way, coming back to metta for ourselves. So taking your time here, there's no rush. And when you're ready in the second stage, we shine a lamp of awareness towards a friend, somebody we like in a straightforward way. Often our responses to people are mixed, but on the whole, you like them. It's good if you choose somebody about the same age as you. But whoever first comes to mind, stay with them. Sometimes it's like that person picks you. You just pop up. And just for a few minutes, we see if we can get out of our own limited sense of self Just for a few minutes, what's it like to put someone else in the centre of the frame? They can become the main character. Just try this out as an experiment. Can we wish them well? Can we imagine what they would look like? Completely happy, without difficulty. Really blossoming, reaching their potential, growing. And we wish that for them. You've still got your anchors to come back to. Mind will slip off the intention. Practice is to simply notice and keep trying. It's not about right or wrong, but more strengthening that intention of well-wishing. Each time you come back, that's the practice. That's the practice becoming strengthened. In this third stage, this particular sit, we're going to bring to mind somebody we don't like. Traditionally described as the difficult person. So they're not difficult, but they're difficult for us. From our side, they're difficult. So what we're trying to do here is not get lost in why they're difficult, but we're just seeing if we can encourage the heart, the mind, to meet them with kindness. At the end of the day, they're a human being like us. We don't understand what they do, perhaps. Like us, they suffer. Like us, they want to be happy. Can we wish that's true for them as we do ourselves and our friend? Just for a few minutes. Just to see if we can be creative and find a new response in our being. What a radical act. Change our heart, change our mind. So it's not about getting anything right. Just seeing if we can be creative with our response. Even if that's just a tiny, tiny little bit, a chink of light. And you are still included in this stage of the practice. It's not like you forget your experience here. It's all going on. It's bringing the person to mind. Noticing too your response. Being kind to whatever arises. The heart opens to its own rhythm, it can't be forced. Just sowing seeds. We don't know when they will germinate and grow. For this final part of the Metta Bhavana, we bring all three people to mind, ourselves, the friend, the difficult person. We just imagine we can all sit in this same field of metta, of well-wishing together. No distinction, no favourite. the well-wishing available to all equally. And if it wants to, allowing this metta to flow to more and more people, the people in this room, the people in the building, the people in the street, people in the world, all living beings. Maybe even beyond this universe. No limits to metta. Universal love for all life. Okay, we're going to come out of the practice in a minute, so give yourself a moment just to relax any effort, nothing particular you need to do now. You can just be with sound, body, breath. Thoughts can just come and go. You don't need to shape your experience in any way, just let it all be. Leave it alone.